The Golden State Warriors just fooled the entire NBA. As you all know, the Golden State Warriors faced off against the Sacramento Kings in Game 7 and the Warriors ended up winning 120-100. In today's video, we're going to be going through 5 key reasons why the Golden State Warriors were able to fool the entire NBA in just this one Game 7 alone, and how these things are also going to help them not only just in the playoffs, but also win another NBA championship. So make sure to like this video, and guys, 92% of you are still not subscribed to the channel, so it would mean the world that you could subscribe to the channel, hitting that red button down below. The first is that Stephen Curry went absolutely insane. As you all know, Stephen Curry was heading into a Game 7 against the Sacramento Kings, and we all knew he was going to bring the best out of him, and he absolutely did that with a 50-point performance. He had himself 50 points, 8 rebounds, and also 6 assists, and he also had himself 1 steal, which was fantastic to see. He went 7 from 18 from the 3 and went 20 from 38 from the field, so he took 38 shots, which I think was honestly insane, guys. He was not only just shooting a huge amount of shots, but he was also hitting them at a very good rate. So he wasn't just jacking up left, right threes, guys. He was actually scoring at will and doing a fantastic job at that. And it's fantastic to have someone like Stephen Curry in this team because, as you all know, the offense definitely runs through him. What we really saw differently in this game, although he did take 18 threes, we definitely saw his inside presence and what he's capable of doing, especially when it goes to slashing in the paint. He may not be dunking like Andrew Wiggins, but you definitely saw from Stephen Curry his layups, his floaters. He was able to get by defenders very easily and able to finish at the ring since the Sacramento Kings were playing him very, very high. They knew Stephen Curry wanted the 3, so in order for them to do that, they really pushed up, double teamed him off pick and rolls, but Stephen Curry was able to find a way inside and score from there. And this just shows the versatility of Stephen Curry and why it makes him so dangerous. Steph Curry can shoot the 3 ball, we all know about that, so when teams tend to go out to him, tend to come up a little bit more in order for him to not get the 3, Steph Curry can blow by you in a hurry and finish very, very strong around the ring. And I think that's something that is so underrated about his game and something that really doesn't get talked about, but Stephen Curry has the same amount of great finishing that players such as Kyrie Irving has, or others such as Donovan Mitchell, to name a few. The only difference is Stephen Curry's may not be as flashy, but he can definitely give you buckets on the inside, whether it's floaters or whether it's just contact layups. And I think it's honestly great to see that Steph Curry's ability to score has honestly evolved just from the 3-point line, and it's starting to head into other areas of the floor. Whether it's the mid-range, whether it's the inside, it really makes him even more dangerous out there, and also makes it very difficult not only for Sacramento Kings, but also future matchups for them to be able to mark Stephen Curry. If Curry can give you 50 points in any given night, I am guaranteeing that the Golden State Warriors will win, but I think it's honestly great to see Curry step up to the plate, especially when the Golden State Warriors needed them the most. Warriors haven't had the greatest run when it came to this round of the playoffs. I do think there were a couple of areas that they could have worked on, but they got the job done. A win is a win, and they're moving on into the next round against the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, not meaning to take away from the Los Angeles Lakers, but I do think Stephen Curry will be able to do what he did the Sacramento Kings to LA Lakers, and he shouldn't have any problem about that. I think Sacramento Kings have better defensive players than the LA Lakers. Although Lakers have some great playoff experience, it will not be enough for someone like Stephen Curry to get it done. The second is that Kavon Looney had himself another monster game. Now, I know we've talked about Kavon Looney in every single game, but I really do believe he deserves the MVP for this series because he has been absolutely fantastic in all 7 games. In this Game 7, he had himself 11 points, 21 rebounds. Yes, guys, you heard that right. 21 rebounds, 4 assists, and also went 4 from 5 from the field. So this was fantastic to see when it came to Kavon Looney, and he really did step up in this opportunity. He was given the role, especially with Draymond Green coming off the bench for Game 6 and also 5, where he was actually the main big guy and the main person guarding Sabonis, and he did a fantastic job over those courses. And I do think Kavon Looney has done also a great job on the boards because he was grabbing everything with 21 rebounds. He also showed a very high percentage of 4 from 5, and that's something you can definitely get from Kavon Looney. Yes, it may have been from offensive rebounds, those were his points. However, guys, points are still points at the end of the day. I think Kavon Looney, if he can give you 5 to 8 offensive rebounds like he did tonight, where he had 10, and give you a couple of buckets, maybe 8 to 10 points, it is honestly a recipe for success. So I think Kavon Looney definitely deserves his flowers, not only just for this game, but for this whole series, because he has been very consistent and doing his job very well throughout this whole course, throughout all 7 games. Sacramento Kings is a tough team, and Sabonis is a a great player. He was an all-star this year, but Kavon Looney was able to do things and lock him up and do a great job at that. Now, don't get me wrong, Sabonis is still a star and he is going to give you 20, 25 points still and a couple of rebounds. But if we look at the reboundings, guys, Sabonis only had 8 rebounds while Kavon Looney had 21. If we also look at other players, Keegan Murray had 7 rebounds, but Kavon Looney still beat that. And Kevin Huerter actually had 9 rebounds as well, who was actually the top rebounder, but it still wasn't enough to out-rebound Kavon Looney. So Kavon Looney almost did, most of a majority of the rebounding for the whole Golden State Warriors team. The Warriors all up as a team actually had 55 rebounds. So Kavon Looney almost had 50% of all rebounds, which was fantastic to see. I think this is something we need from Kavon Looney coming into the next matchup. They are versing the LA Lakers, and the LA Lakers are a pretty big team. Anthony Davis is a great rebounder, very long, and rebounding ability is in his DNA. And they also have other players that can rebound very well. Obviously, you have LeBron, and then you also have other players such as Vanderbilt. But I think Kavon Looney being able to guard players such as Sabonis, such as Anthony Davis in the next round, it really does show that he is a championship type center, and he has done a fantastic job so far. I think something that can definitely see him do more of, especially in the next series, is also do assists. We did see a lot of that from this Sacramento series. We saw a couple of games where Kavon Looney was getting 7, 8, 9 assists in a game, which was honestly fantastic to see. And I think if he can continue that on into the next matchup against the LA Lakers, it will definitely be a recipe for success. I think Kavon Looney is doing the right things. His scoring may not be the most important factor of his game. He'll probably will only give you at max 10 points due to the fact that you have other players like Curry, Wiggins, even Thompson doing the scoring. But if Looney can give you 10 points, I think that is a good benchmark for someone like Looney to get that done. If he can keep up this rebounding, massacre that he has started, it honestly will continue to be paying dividends for this Warriors team, especially into the next matchup against the LA Lakers, who are a great rebounding team. But I think for someone like Looney, he can definitely out-rebound them, no doubt about it. The third is Gary Payton II and Dante DiVincenzo were absolute defensive stoppers. Now, I think this is something that we all expected, but having Gary Payton II, who is a great defender, and Dante DiVincenzo, who's another great defender, in the same lineup in that second unit has honestly been dangerous for this other team, which was the Sacramento Kings, and that's one of the reasons why they were able to beat them by 20 points. Gary Payton II in this game had 2 points, 4 blocks, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. Dante DiVincenzo had 3 points, 1 assist, and 2 rebounds. Now, those stats may sound very mediocre to you, or probably even below mediocre. However, if you see the actual effect that Gary Payton II and Dante DiVincenzo had on this team, you definitely will see that they have helped this team so much grow and also close out this game and finish this series. When it came to Gary Payton II, he was doing fantastic defense, and what was great to have him on the floor was that switches were definitely possible. He could switch on to a small forward, even a power forward. As you all know, Sacramento Kings run Harrison Barnes or even Keegan Murray at power forward, so they do run a small ball type lineup besides Sabonis, and because of that, they had Kavon Looney out there to guard Sabonis, but Gary Payton II was able to guard everyone else. And I think that's something that was completely fantastic from GP II, and one of the reasons why the Warriors wanted him back. And the same goes for Dante DiVincenzo. And I've said this before, one of the reasons why DiVincenzo was signed, this year for Golden State Warriors was that he was supposed to be the replacement for GP2, and you definitely see the similarities in their games and why they are considered, so close when it comes to their play style. And because of that, having 2 of them in one team has honestly been a matchup nightmare for the Sacramento Kings, and it definitely did show. Now, Sacramento had some great players, but it wasn't enough for them to get the job done due to the fact that players such as DiVincenzo, Gary Payton II, and even other defenders on the team were able to stop them in a hurry. Sabonis was the highest scorer with only 22 points, which is not bad, but it doesn't compare to Stephen Curry's 50. De'Aaron Fox, who was supposed to lead this team, only had 16 points. He also went 5 from 19 from the field and went 3 from 10 from the 3. We also have other players such as Keegan Murray in the starting lineup who only had 10 points, and then if we even scroll down a bit further and find Malik Monk, you find out he only had 14 points as well in this matchup. So the fourth is that the Golden State Warriors as a team completely outperformed the Sacramento Kings. Now, obviously, Golden State Warriors did win, but what I mean by outperform is that if we look at every single statistical category, you definitely see the difference when it comes to Golden State Warriors and Sacramento Kings. If we look at field goal percentage, Golden State Warriors had a field goal percentage of 43%, while the Kings only had 37%. If we look at three-point percentage, Kings had 25%, while the Warriors had 32%. 50%, and the list really does keep going on and on. Rebounds, Warriors got more. Assists, Warriors got more. Even steals, blocks, even less turnovers than the Kings. So pretty much every statistical category, Golden State Warriors were able to beat Sacramento Kings. And that's one of the reasons why Golden State Warriors at one point had the largest lead at 24 points, and while the Kings only had the largest lead of 4 points. This is something that is very important and something that does not get talked about enough, but as a team and a collective, you definitely see a discrepancy when it comes to who's really playing better, not just in one particular stat, whether it's points or anything of that nature, but in all statistical categories. And I think the fact that Warriors were able to really beat them in every statistical category really did show that the Warriors were all on it, whether it was Steph Curry all the way down to the 10th, 11th man on the roster. So this was fantastic to see from someone like the Warriors, and also Stephen Curry leading this team. He was able to really get the team going and be able to provide more for the team, whether it's rebounds, assists, and all these other things. The fifth is that Steve Kerr is a coaching mastermind. Now, I don't think Steve Kerr gets the credit he is due, but Steve Kerr has done a fantastic job to really switch up the game plans, make up new plays, and to really give this team the opportunity to actually win. And you definitely saw that throughout this whole game and also throughout the whole series. Steve Kerr was willing to mix things up, really get things going, change their plays due to the fact that Sacramento Kings coach Mike Brown definitely knew a lot about the Warriors team since he used to be the assistant coach. And because of that, Steve Kerr was able to adapt and be able to get the win in this game 7. And I think that's something that doesn't really get talked about enough, but coaches really do matter. If you have a good coach, you can definitely make it to the finals if you have a great team to back it up. And Golden State Warriors definitely found their gem in Steve Kerr as being a very, very good coach. Steve Kerr will continue to do this into the next matchup against the LA Lakers, and it will be interesting to see what he comes up with in that matchup.